Simple Christian songs, so I beg. All those good morning Jesus.
Welcome back, guys. I trust you are fine. We are bringing you another true crime story from the country of Nigeria in Africa. It's about a 26-year-old lady who went missing on the 11th of September 2023. Now, her name was Blessing Moses Karami. Blessing was a level 200 student of the National Open University of Nigeria. She was a very industrious lady, full of life, bubbly, and all. It turns out that Blessing was even entrepreneurial to the point that she had a makeup business on the side which she ran on social media. You would see a lot of outstanding jobs that she had done for several of her clients. At the age of 26, this lady showed so much promise. She showed such an exuding entrepreneurial spirit, and you could see that she was actually meant for great things. She was last seen around 5 p.m. on the 11th of September 2023 at her workplace at Abuja in Nigeria, where she had boarded a taxi to return to her home after close of work on that day. That was actually the last time anybody saw her. And this is where things begin to get murky, because you would expect that if that's the case, then she should return back to work the following day. Or if she doesn't, somebody in her home should be able to give feedback that, oh, maybe Blessing is not feeling too good, so she can't come to work today. So it became a bit of a surprise when she didn't get home, and at the same time, her work colleagues also didn't know where she was. So it meant that in between her leaving work, heading home, something had prevented her from getting home. Or maybe we might end up saying someone had prevented her from getting home. So at this point, it was reported that she was actually missing because it had gone beyond the 48 hours, and an official report had been lodged with the police by her brother by name Genesis Moses Karami. Now, Genesis originally lived in Kaduna, also in Nigeria, with his family because he had married, and so he had moved to that state to be with his wife, and they've built a family. So that's where he stays, whilst his sister Blessing stays at Abuja. But when the 48 days had elapsed and his sister was still nowhere to be found, Genesis moved back to Abuja to help find his sister. As if this wasn't a heavy burden enough, something mysterious happened when Genesis got to Kaduna to find his sister. It turns out that he received a phone call. Now, this phone call came from a number which was unknown to him. He didn't know who it was that uses that number. Neither did he have any idea who he was talking to on this number. But some way, somehow, the person was telling him that he or she knows where his sister is. And this is at a point in time where her brother is aware his sister is missing. She has actually been declared officially missing and is being searched for by the police. And then this call comes in with the person claiming that he knows where his sister is. And the way this person was talking about it, he believed the person, and the person led him on, telling him that he should come to a suburb of the town and he would help him find his sister. At this point, he informed the police as well, and they all joined hands to go find this person. They kept in touch with this person on phone, trying to ensure that the conversation is seamless so they still get to this person. And at a point in time, this person seemed to now be leading them on a wild goose chase, because he could say, oh, meet me at this junction, and they'll go all the way, they get there, and he's like, I've left. Come to that side rather, or go to this side rather. So it began to look like the person was trying to take them on a wild goose chase, or, as some are suspecting, it could have just been a prank call. I have my concerns about that. I don't think it's a prank call. I think there's a possibility it could be something else, but I'll get into it when I get to the portion of the video where I'm giving my 2 cents. So when they realized that this guy was just tossing them around, they just stopped responding to this call. They stopped entertaining whatever the person was saying, and they decided to get down and do the work itself. And eventually, and unfortunately, they found his sister. I say unfortunately because at the time they found her, she was deceased. And they found her in a bush at a town called Karami. And at this point in time, she had decomposed so badly that the police couldn't even move her. It's reported that they had to actually bury her at where they found her. So sad. And I have my concerns with that too, because I don't know if it's due to something the police is lacking in terms of logistics, or it's something that was out of their hands altogether, irrespective of whatever level of logistics they had. Because I'm thinking that it would have been better if they had a means to still transport her to a facility where they could do a proper autopsy to determine the cause of death. As it stands now, there's no reports that they were able to actually do any autopsy before burying her. The report out there is that they had to bury her at where they found her because she had decomposed so badly. R.I.P. to Blessing Moses Karami, beautiful 26-year-old soul lost under very strange circumstances. And she was found on the 20th of September 2023. So this was 9 days after she was last seen. And this person who was making this prank call was able to describe the attire that Blessing Moses Karami was wearing on the day that she disappeared. This is one of the reasons why I don't think it's a prank call, but like I said, I'll get into it soon. So, this was how Karami's end seemed to have come to. But there are several questions on my mind, and I'll start with that of the prank call, or the so-called prank call. I don't think it's a prank call. At best, I think it's possible that it could be an eyewitness or an informant who prefers to stay anonymous and was doing that thing to determine who these people were, trying to find Karami, and also ascertain whether he or she is safe or not. Because this is Africa, and some of these systems which are supposed to give you security can sometimes be used to work against you if they are able to be corrupted by money. I'm not saying these guys are, but there's that possibility, especially here in Africa. So imagine someone wanting to come out as an informant in a case involving a missing girl whom this person claims to know what has happened to and where she is. I'm sure this person would want some form of anonymity. So for me, I think that it's possible that this person who was calling was probably hiding somewhere and watching every point that he told them to meet him at. So he sees the people who are actually coming to meet him and ascertain whether it's safe for him to actually reveal himself or even talk to him. That is a possibility, although it's a bit far-fetched, but I think it's possible that this person could be an informant. Again, another possibility is that this person could actually be one of the people who may be involved in the homicide of Blessing Moses Karami's passing. You remember the case of Rex Heuermann, the Gilgo Beach killer, or the Long Island serial killer. At least he is suspected to be that. If you haven't heard that story, just go through my playlist. I have different videos on this case. Now, if you watch it, you'll realize that at a point in time, this Long Island serial killer or Gilgo Beach serial killer is reported to have been calling the families of some of his victims to taunt them. That is how dark some people can be. Their evil and level of darkness does not stop with they just committing the dastardly acts, but they go on to taunt the living. And I think that this call also has the possibility of having come from such a person who may know something about the disappearance and eventually how Blessing Moses Karami became deceased and is getting off by taunting her brother, knowing very well that he is very desperate to find his sister. That is also very possible. And to the extent of how evil has evolved in these times, you can't put anything past any evil person. It's like there's a conscious effort to upgrade on the level of evil that people can do. So that is my bit on that prank call. I think that it could have either been an informant or somebody who knows something about the disappearance and eventual passing of Blessing Moses Karami, or it could still have been a prank call. But if it's a prank call, then I think that person qualifies to be the most insensitive person on the face of this earth. You don't taunt a grieving brother in that manner, especially a brother who doesn't even have closure about what has happened to his sister and where his sister is. But I'm sure investigations are going to unravel this. And I'm expecting that the police should have a means to track this call. It shouldn't just be that, oh, somebody called and said this and that, so we've reported it or recorded it down and it ends there. It shouldn't end there. There should be a way. They should have a means, or they should find a means to track this call, trace this call, find who owns this number, conduct a thorough investigation into it. That could give them a lead, actually. I don't know what their technological advancements and limitations are in Nigeria, but I think that there should be a way. At least I know that if this call had gone to something pertaining to national security, maybe directly at a president or a higher up person, they would have found a way to narrow it down to who owns the number. I don't know if they will employ it in such cases, but I think they should, because that family needs closure. It's not enough they having found the lady. It's only going to be enough if the family gets to know what happened to her, who are responsible, and the justice system also dealing with these people. And I think that the security agencies must go all out on this. It also goes to set an example to the perpetrators and any other possible perpetrators of such crimes in the future, that if you try this, we are going to come after you with everything that we have. I think that should be the message their actions should be sending. Now, again, with they burying her at where they found her, it hasn't been reported that they did any autopsy, but I'll take this from two angles. If they did, that's good. But even with that, I still think that even if they did, the family should have a say in where their beloved will be laid to rest. Her decomposing so badly shouldn't be a limitation. The police should have a means of working with other stakeholders to move the body to a more appropriate place. It's about the dignity of the whole thing as well. I know maybe in some other far advanced countries, this wouldn't have been a problem. But, well, this could be as a result of limitations of the Nigerian police, if so. And then, with regards to the suspects, at this point in time, there's only one suspect who has been arrested and is currently the sole person of interest in this case, and that is the boyfriend of Blessing Moses Karami, and his name has been given simply as Aminu. Who is Aminu? What does he do? Why would he be arrested? We don't know. I only know why he would be arrested. I think it's simply because he's the boyfriend and there was a form of dialogue between them before she disappeared. It's been reported they were planning to meet. But I think that even if they were not planning to meet, he would have still been arrested. Because, like I've been saying in my previous videos, I think it's almost a standard practice that if someone passes on under suspicions of a homicide, if it's an unmarried person, say a lady or whatever, if it's an unmarried person, the person's fiancé or fiance is going to be a suspect, especially if they are in the same town or same country. That person would have to be cleared. If that person is also married, then the spouse would have to be cleared, because most often it's presumed silently that there could be tension that could have led to one of them planning to personally perpetrate such an action against the other, or planning and conniving and conspiring with others to perpetrate such crimes against their other partner. So I don't know how their relationship was. Aminu and Blessing's relationship is a bit silent. I've been on her social media page. I went to watch her on Facebook, Instagram. I didn't see anything about any Aminu. So my fingers are crossed. I'm waiting to see what the police will put out. But I think that this is going to be one of the investigations that might be a bit frustrating and difficult for them, because the way they found her in, they couldn't do much with her. And it doesn't look like they have many leads going forward, unless they do, but they are being economical with information for reasons best known to them. And I'll respect it. If it helps solve the case, I respect it. But as it stands now, it looks like they have their work cut out for them. And it's very unfortunate, because if you go on Blessing's Facebook page, on the 16th of July, she actually put out a post talking about how she survived an accident and escaped death while she was in a car. This is what she wrote. On my way back to Abuja, and this happened. All I saw was God's grace upon my life. Concerning me, the devil has failed again. I'm a victor. This is the third time the devil has been plotting his evil and devilish plans over me, but he keeps failing. Oga devil, try the best, I beg, you don't to do. Thank you, Lord. Your chosen one came out with no scratch, and so with everyone in the car. Lord, I am who you say I am, because I'm a child of God. I'm just going to leave it at that. And she said that this was the third time. Unfortunately, she didn't survive whatever the fourth one, which has led us to this point. And that is very unfortunate. I don't think that she taunting the devil in her Facebook page had anything to do with this. But I think that life is full of surprises. And we just have to pray and mind our steps and hope that at the end of the day, we would always see the end of the day alive. I'm counting on the police to do a thorough job. The suspect here is just one, her boyfriend, as it stands now. But I bet you it does not necessarily mean that he is the culprit. By virtue of the fact that he's been arrested as a person of interest, it doesn't mean anything. He's just a person of interest. The actual culprit could be him, or maybe there could even be another lover. It could be as a result of a love triangle. It could be something else. It could even be possible that this homicide was perpetrated by someone who is not even on anybody's radar. It could have been by a group, by an individual. It could have happened in the vehicle she even boarded, because that's the last time she was seen. But who even bothered to pick the car number? These are security measures that I think we should all start adopting. If you are hailing a cab, for instance, if it's say Bolt, Uber, or any of those rides out there, Yango, once you get on board, send the vehicle details and the driver details and the log details to another person as a backup plan, just in case, God forbid, there's somebody knows the last vehicle you got on board on, because you can't just presume everything is okay, because by the time you realize that something could go wrong, it would have already gone wrong. So we must be proactive with our security. And I think that these are things that we need to start learning. I've always said that my true crime channel is not just to bring you the crime, it's also to educate us, so we learn from such instances instead of waiting to go through them ourselves before we learn, if we survive. It's very unfortunate that Blessing Moses Karami has been lost in this manner. I wish her family the strength to go on, but I'm counting on the police to do an excellent job, irrespective of whatever limitations they are facing on this case. I think that they need to close this case effectively and efficiently, because that would send a message to whoever the culprit or culprits are and set the tone for the way forward. Subscribe if you are yet to do so. What do you think about this whole case? For me, I smell a rat, a very big rat. I think this could be a case of someone closer to home or someone far from home. We wait to see. I'll bring you updates as and when they are available. Until then, keep an eye out and stay safe out there. Catch you next time.